By the way, when we go to our booth cam, the official you're going to be seeing in our shot, I want to be polite and introduce her. Her name is Bonita Holmes. She is the score clock official. So if you see her in the shot, we may have her wave to Mom and everyone at home.
And she's about 7 times better looking than you, Dan.
That's true. I won't argue that. All right, 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line now. There's motion in the backfield as Shepard goes long. He was looking for Javaris Harris, but that's going to be a illegal procedure penalty in the backfield, I believe.
Yes, I believe the wide receiver on this side of the field also moved. But I like the rotation coverage that Glades was using. They brought a safety over to almost double cover. It looks like they're in man-to-man, but they're actually in a double zone, which means they have 2 guys on the outside receivers. The tight end, I have no idea how much they throw to the tight end, but the tight end could have a field day against this type of defense.
So now 1st and 15 after the penalty. The ball on the 45-yard line. Pahokee 8-0 on the season and have never really had a close game this season. The closest was a 19-0 victory over Royal Palm Beach in the season opener. So it'll be interesting to see how they react now down 7-0 early on. They give up the middle to number 4. That is William Jenkins, and Jenkins with a big gain. Looks like at least 20, 25 yards. And Jenkins is the senior fullback, and they answered my question right there, I think.
Well, I was waiting when they're going to run the little trap play because it's pretty obvious that Glades is filling up the off-tackle hole. There's the replay. But see, this is what you can't coach, Dan. It's getting through the line and now making that move to the sideline with such quickness. That's the thing that coaches just drool over because it's uncoachable.
Yeah, so quick. Our camera was even having trouble keeping up with him. 1st and 10 now. Ball on the 42-yard line of Glades Central. In Raider territory now, the Blue Devils. The give over the right side to Jenkins, and Jenkins is going to get hit behind the line, makes a nice effort to get through and gain maybe 1 yard to 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, number 50 got in there. Simon Novembre got in there and held him up. But again, great arm leg drive by the Pahokee tailback. You can't arm tackle these guys. It's just absolutely impossible. You have to have 3, 4, 5 people to the football.
It is 7-0 Glades Central over Pahokee. If you're just joining us in the first quarter, the Raiders with a shocking 85-yard touchdown pass on the first play of the game. And now back to throw a deep ball, and that is almost picked off. That was Anthony Shepard going deep for, it looks like, Antavius Wilson. But the ball was actually almost picked off by Gian Jackson of Glades Central. But there is a call against the Raiders. Roughing the passer.
The thing about that passing with the wind, Dan, is you're so pumped up, you don't realize how far you can throw the ball with the wind. And Glades Central really should have intercepted that ball. It was up for grabs, but the young man that was back there waiting for it, the ball just kept carrying, which gives you some idea how fierce the wind is out here.
So that penalty very helpful to the Blue Devils, who now move up to, it looks like, the 20-yard line. 1st and 10. Anthony Shepard, the quarterback, takes it. The give around the left side, but in there, like a lightning bolt, was Russell Lewis, the junior linebacker, who threw Janoris Jenkins for at least a 4-yard loss on the play.
Yeah, they're blitzing a lot off of that side, and they've gotten through almost every time, Dan, but that's the first time somebody put their hat on the tailback, and a very good play. Here's the replay, and watch as the linebacker comes through and wraps him up before he can get started. Yeah. And that's the key in the I formation. You got to get a hand on him before he gets started.
All right, so 2nd and 14 now. The fake, looking for his man, and he's got him, and that's the tight end, number 44, Kavensky McGee. And you were talking about the tight end could have a field day, and a field day there, and a 1st down, a gain of about 15 yards.
Yeah, it's very easy to get the ball to the tight end. The throws are shorter, and when you got that size of a target, it's pretty hard to miss him too. But they're trying to cover the tight end with a linebacker, and they can't. There's the replay, and he's a load, Dan.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
He's a load, and he can have a field day tonight if they stay in that defensive coverage.
We don't have his stats, but he's also a defensive lineman, so you would assume he's at least in the 235, 240-pound range. All right, so now we have a stoppage of play. Timeout, Blue Devils, as they want to talk this over and see exactly what they want to do. They have a 1st and goal, looks like about the 6-yard line.
And this is where the going gets obviously very, very tough. But I'll tell you what, they spread the field and they get the ball to their tailback. It's going to be very difficult for Glade Central to keep them out of the end zone. I said at the beginning of the broadcast that turnovers are going to decide the ball game. And that's what will make the difference in one team coming over.
We'd like to take this opportunity to thank the sponsors of Palm Beach County Friday Night Football. First of all, the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, and also the Miami Dolphins and Palm Beach County TV 20. All right, so we line up now for the 1st and goal play.
All right.
Ball, like I said, at the, let's call it the 6-yard line. Anthony Shepard on the snap. The give across the left side, and pushing through was Willie Jenkins, the fullback, but not getting too much. I don't have a great angle from here, but he may have gotten 2 yards.
Yeah, he picked up about 1.5 yards, 2 yards, Dan, you're right. They went into the power I formation, which is obviously their goal line offense. And it's no big secret what they're going to do. They're going to put those 2 big fullbacks in there and lead the ball right at the Glade Central defensive line.
2nd and goal now. Shepard. The give once again to his fullback, but he is going to be grabbed and stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Randall Porter was one of the Blades linebackers stopping him there.
There was no push forward by the Pahokee offensive line on this. As you see the replay, there's nothing available because the Pahokee offensive line didn't get off the ball. I'd like to see him change the snap count down here, Dan. I think if they change the snap count, they might catch Glade Central jumping off sides.
All right, so this brings up a very important 3rd and goal, and Pahokee, of course, wanting to cash in here and tie the score. You might even consider this 2-down territory for them, depending on how Leroy Foster is thinking. From the shotgun, Shepard, he's going to take it up the middle. He's going to race in for the touchdown. Anthony Shepard to make this a 7-6 ball game, and that was classic. That's exactly what you want in your quarterback, to have those kind of options to either throw the ball or take off running. I think, though, the pass was never even in the works.
I agree with you 100%. I predicted quarterback draw from the minute they got in that formation. Here it is. He's not looking to throw the ball at all. Number one, tries to get up and lead, but he doesn't really have to, because Glade Central really got suckered on that one. They had too many people guarding too many people, and they should have been more reticent against the run.
A very quick burst of speed there by Shepard, who, as you can see, is also a very able runner with the ball. Here's the extra point try. It is up, and it is good. And I have to lean over here with 5:24 to go in the first quarter. We have a 7-7 game in the Muck Bowl.
Could it be that the last team that has the ball might win this one tonight, Dan?
We were also talking about that might be the case. You know, Pahokee is 1-4 in the last 5 Muck Bowls. And, of course, they had to wait now 2 years for this game after losing because of Hurricane Wilma knocked out the game. There were desperate attempts to try to get the game played after the regular season, but the Florida High School Activities Association said, no, sorry, that's against the rules. You can't do that.
Well, they obviously don't live in Belglade or Pahokee,
no,
or the hundreds of people that plan their entire November around this game. They come in from everywhere. I've never seen planes at the Belglade Airport come in, but that's what I saw today. I saw airplanes.
This game is steeped in history. We're not even exactly sure when it began, but they started calling it the Muck Bowl back in 1980, from what I understand. Lisa Pride's going to have some more information on that in a bit, but first, let's get to the kickoff here. Jose Rodriguez kicking the ball for the Blue Devils. It's going to be fielded at about the 8-yard line by Deontay Thomas, and Thomas is going to get out just past the 20-yard line before he is stopped by the Blue Devils. Good coverage on the kicking team so far. And right now, Lisa Pride on the sideline. And Lisa, is that a trophy in your hand, I see?
Well, thanks, guys. This is the Muck Bowl trophy, and this is what both teams are playing for tonight. It was started back in 1980, and a teacher of Glade Central, Graham Frost, started it and keeps it up to date. Now, the first winner in 1980 of this trophy was Pahokee. Glade Central's been hanging on to it for the past 2 seasons, and that's because they won it in 2004. Last year, there was no Muck Bowl, and on the trophy, they plan to put, the athletic director of Glade Central told me, they're going to put Pahokee 0, Glade Central 0, and Wilma, that's Hurricane Wilma, 2. Back up to you guys.
Thank you very much, Lisa. And you saw the play there. The first play from Brian Mann, who is now in at quarterback for Glade Central. As we said, Mann is going to be sharing time with DeAndre Holly in tonight's game. Mann, the more experienced of the two, a senior. And you saw that first play was a loss of 1 as Pahokee's vaunted defense swarmed all over them. Back in the shotgun now. Mann looking to throw. He's got a man and he's got a catch, and breaking a tackle and racing into midfield before he is slammed down. I believe that was Deontay Thompson, number 6. Let me double check to make sure I wasn't wrong. Or was that number 8, DeAndre Holly? Not sure. Maybe if we have a replay, we can
6.
tell.
It was 6.
Okay,
Dan.
it was Thompson then. Thompson is coming up very big so far. Here's the replay, Bill.
On the stop route, watch Thompson break the tackle by the 2 Pahokee defenders and get vertical up the field. They have missed this young man, Dan.
Absolutely. And the reason why so many major Division I colleges are looking at this kid. Now here's Mann, keeps it himself, goes around the left side, trying to break a tackle, but he is going to be stopped for a short gain, maybe a yard, right at the 50-yard line.
It looks like this game is being played at a 78 RPM speed instead of the usual 45. It's amazing to me how quick both teams are. And it's going to be tough to run the football for any big gains because of the quickness on defense.
Thompson, by the way, is rated the 4th best receiver in the nation by Rival.com. So there are schools drooling over this young man right now. All right, Mann back. He's got a lot of time, no pass rush to speak of, and he's got a receiver, but a drop on the left sideline. That was Travis Benjamin trying to come up with a catch and didn't make it. And Bill, a lot of time to throw there by Brian Mann, and I would think that is not something Pahokee's defense is used to giving opposing quarterbacks.
Well, actually, the defensive coordinator is playing coverage. He feels that if they give the Pahokee or the Glade Center quarterback a lot of time to throw and cover people, that he'd rather deal with that than try to let them get big plays.
Well, and it's working. It's 3rd down and 9 for Glade Central on their second possession of the game. Mann rolling to his left. He's looking deep, and he's going to pull up and run the ball, and a jarring hit after just a couple yard gain. That was Jacoby Love, and that was not a Love tap. Love lost his helmet on that hit, and that's the kind of hitting you expect between a couple of Glades rivals.
Yeah, and we're not talking about little kids. Here's the replay. Quarterback is back and rolling out to the left. There's nobody open because they're in a coverage scheme. They've dropped 8 players. Now he sees a little seam here, and it looks like there's some room to run. What he doesn't see is number 55,
Bang,
who comes in here and loses his helmet in the process of bringing him down. Like I said, the speed is incredible.
All right, so Glade Central is getting ready to punt, but there is a timeout on the field. Let me see how much time we have. 3:01 left to go in what has been a very interesting first quarter in the Muck Bowl here from Lair Field in Pahokee.
Yeah, both teams deserve their high ranking and their, accolades going into this game.
All right, and right now Joel Lewis is on the sideline. What do you have for us, Joel?